Today's Bangladesh is considered to be under a totalitarian government, and the opponents are subjected to a frightened situation under the dictatorial regime, where extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances, and custodial deaths have become routine human rights violations without any remedy.
A free election? Well, people will certainly be free to turn up here and vote. But for whom? Well, in this seat, 3 candidates affiliated to the ruling party. So, a fair vote? Perhaps not.
The disrespect and disregards of the totalitarian government towards human rights have been demonstrated in the 2014 national election, where the voters' turnout was much below.
This is at Niketan in upscale Gulshan area. Poll personnel ready and waiting for voters, but voters few and far between. I have just been told that out of 2,097 voters listed here, till about 3 o'clock this afternoon, only 28 have cast their vote.
153 members of parliament were declared elected without contest. Media reports suggest that not a single vote was cast in 45 polling stations.
আমরা এখন কথা বলবো এই ভোট কেন্দ্রের প্রিজাইডিং অফিসারের সঙ্গে। এখনো পর্যন্ত বর্তমান এখন যে সময় এখন আমরা 3:30 বলতে পারি, এই 3:30 পর্যন্ত অদ্যবধি এই কেন্দ্রে কোনো প্রার্থীর পোলিং এজেন্ট এবং কোনো ভোটার এখনো পর্যন্ত আমরা এই কেন্দ্রে উপস্থিত পরিলক্ষিত এখনো দেখতে পাই নাই।
It is widely reported by different national and international human rights organizations and several governments all over the world that the state apparatus are being used for human rights violations, which include abductions, torture, extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances and custodial death, shooting at sight, arrests without warrant, a day-to-day experience of the people of Bangladesh for the last 9.5 years. Statistics of human rights violations since January 2009 to June 2018, according to Ain or Shalish Kendra, Ask and Odhikar, the 2 major internationally recognized human rights organizations working in Bangladesh. However, these figures have been compiled from selected newspapers. The actual numbers are much higher. On average, 11 persons are being killed every day. This was reported in the daily Jugantar on 27 April 2016 as its headline. The opposition activists have been passing their days in fear due to this mechanical culture of disappearances, killings and abductions. Civil-clothed people picked up Ilyas Ali, former Member of Parliament and the organizing secretary of the BNP National Executive Committee from Mohakali, along with his driver Ansar, on 18 April 2012 at midnight. The family members and BNP are claiming that the civil-clothed people were members of law enforcement agencies.
ষড়যন্ত্রমূলক হাসিনা ধরে জানিয়েছে আমার বাইরে চাই।
The tears of the bereaved family members of Ilyas Ali and others have a never-ending destination. 25 June 2010, Ward Commissioner BNP leader Chaudhry Alam was kidnapped from the heart of the capital city of Rapid Action Battalion (RAB), as claimed by his family.
It was the security forces. They were dressed in civilian clothes. I'm sure they are the ones who took my husband away.
April 30, 2014, the dead bodies of the panel mayor of Narayanganj City Corporation, Nazrul Islam and 6 others were found to be floating in the Shitalokha River that were kidnapped on 27 April 2014 by RAB from Narayanganj. RAB officers, one of whom is the son-in-law of a sitting minister, were directly involved in this murder, which is evident from the confessional statements made before a magistrate. Family members of Aminul Islam, garments labor leader and organizer of Bangladesh Center for Workers' Solidarity, alleged that he was kidnapped by members of law enforcement agencies on 4 April 2012 from Ashulia, Dhaka. On 5 April 2012, his dead body was recovered from Ghatail Thana of Tangail district. In the evening of 5 January 2013, BNP leader Rafiqul Islam Mujumdar was arrested from his village Anandanagar at 10 p.m. His dead body was found by the Adabari Monohorpur canal of Kumarkhali, Kustia. His body was still handcuffed and the word police was engraved on the cuffs. 27 November 2013, Laksham Upazila BNP President and ex-MP Saiful Islam Hiru and Laksham Municipal BNP President Humayun Kabir were allegedly picked up by RAB. They are still missing. Just before the fraudulent election of the Awami League-led alliance on 5th January 2014, government agencies launched a massive operation in December 2013 in which Jatiyotawadi Chhatra Dol leaders Jhontu, Mahbub Hassan, Farhad Hussain, Nizamuddin Munna, BNP activists Sajidul Islam Shumon, Kausar Ahmed, Adnan Chaudhry, Asaduzzaman Rana, Mazharul Islam, Al Amin, Bilal Hussain, Jahidul Islam Tanvir and Abdul Qadir Bhuiya, amongst others, were reportedly picked up by law enforcers. In 2013, Jatiyotawadi Chhatra Dol worker Mufizul Islam Rashid and Mahmudur Rahman had been picked up by DB police, as has been reported by their family members. Some more reported cases of enforced disappearance during the last 9.5 years are Shamrat Mullah, Khalid Hussain Sohel, Parvez Hussain, Muhammad Sohel, Selim Reza Pintu, Aminul Islam Jakir, Iqbal Mahmud Joel, Alamgir Hussain, Omar Farooq, Monir Hussain, Haidar Rashid Vipon and Shah Alam. Many of them remain missing till today. In 2016, among many others, Barrister Arman and retired Brigadier General of Bangladesh Army Abdullahil Aman Azmi were kidnapped by law enforcement agencies. 30th March 2017, a central leader of Jatiyotawadi Chhatra Dol, Nurul Alam Nuru, was found murdered on the banks of the Konofuli River in Rauzan Upazila. 10 people picked him up, 5 of them were in police uniform. Nuru was shot twice in his head. His hands were tied with rope and there were several injury marks on his body. At least 150 people were killed between May to June 2018 in the name of anti-drug drive. This is a very new phenomenon introduced by the totalitarian government in this election year. Several reports suggest that many opposition activists have been made victims of this motivated drive.
জরুরি কাজে যাচ্ছি
কেন
যাচ্ছি আমি ঠিক আছে গাড়ি চালাচ্ছি তো
হ্যালো
বলছো কি সঠিক জড়িত না
না
আরো কোনো ইয়ে আছে
The recorded voice of Ikram of Cox's Bazar and sound of shooting on him by the law enforcers was viral in virtual media, which demonstrate the blueprint of extrajudicial killings. The present totalitarian government has become intolerant. Freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom of speech, right to be treated in accordance with law and access to justice have become a mercy of the dictators. From 5 February 2013 to 3rd March 2013, the government used the police, BGB, RAB and its party cadres to carry out indiscriminate arrest, and killing of opposition demonstrators. Some people were shot after arrest on suspicion of being opposition activists when they were merely passers-by. 9 December 2012, Chhatra League cadres brutally hacked up a tailor called Bishwajit Dash in presence of police at Old Dhaka. This is one of the most vicious actions by the police. On 13 February 2013, in Dhaka, after arrest, the police are seen mercilessly beating a man in handcuffs. 5 May 2013, the government was in a severe repressive mode on the pre-scheduled program of Hifazat Islam. It has been revealed from different reports that several people were killed, some were missing, and some were gravely injured on the day. The government issued a press note admitting that 11 died on that date. However, it transpires from news reports of different newspapers that Hifazat Islam has claimed that hundreds of their people were killed and thousands were injured. On 5 January 2014, Begum Zia had called for a rally to protest the fraudulent election of 2014. She was barred from coming out of her office. She and her entourage and some leaders, including women, were subjected to pepper spray, which has been banned by our High Court as well as internationally. For 3 months, she was besieged in her office. Sand-filled trucks, APCs, water cannons and hundreds of police, RAB and BGB blocked her exit. At one stage, her electricity was cut off, water supply stopped, all communications including internet cut, even supply of food was restricted, violating all norms of civilized behavior. One of the most humiliating days for the politicians of Bangladesh was 6 July 2011. Countrywide hotel was being observed across the country. A police official attacked the opposition chief whip, Joinal Abidin Farooq, and hurling scars and abusive language. Farooq was terribly injured and went under treatment for a long time at home and later on abroad. On 18 June 2017 morning, the ruling party's miscreants attacked the motorcade of BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir near Rangunia in Chittagong on his way to Rangamati. Several central leaders of the party, including Mirza Fakhrul, Amir Khusro Mahmud Chaudhry, were injured as the miscreants vandalized their vehicles. A team of BNP led by its Secretary General was travelling to Rangamati to console and support the victims of the landslide there. 28 October 2017, BNP Chairperson Khaleda Zia's motorcade came under attack on Dhaka-Chittagong Highway in Feni when she was en route to visit the Rohingya camp in Cox's Bazar. Our army armed cadres carried out the attack on the motorcade and vandalized 40 to 50 vehicles in Fatehpur and Muhammad Ali Bazar areas. Media vehicles of the Daily Star, Pratham Alo, Channel I, DBC TV, Boishaki TV and Ekatto TV were also vandalized in the attack. The totalitarian government has displayed one of its ugliest features after suppressing the quota movement in the institutions in Bangladesh. In early 2018, General Stevens demanded the abolition of quota system in government services due to the reason that the merits have been ignored and suppressed in recruitment processes. The law enforcement forces, accompanied by the armed cadres of the state wing of the ruling party, attacked the peaceful processions, arrested the leaders of the movements randomly and threatened to kill in crossfire. Teachers who opposed the suppression had also been assaulted. The US Embassy in Dhaka had also expressed their support to the quota movement. BNP records show that since 2009 to June 2018, approximately 1.8 million of its leaders, activists and supporters have been subjected to arrest and made accused out of the blueprint of the fascist regime. In this politically motivated persecution process, the three-time Prime Minister of Bangladesh and BNP Chairperson Begum Khaleda Zia, a 73-year-old lady, have not been even spared including the other BNP leaders or its allies. Begum Zia was convicted in a graft case when no evidence and overwritten documents has been placed in front of the court and even corroborated against her, as it has been claimed by her lawyers by the Supreme Court in an unprecedented manner as well.
প্রধানমন্ত্রীর দপ্তরে এই টাকা কোনোদিন প্রবেশ করে নাই। কতগুলি ঘষা মাজা স্বাক্ষরবিহীন কাগজ সৃষ্টি করে এই মামলা সাক্ষ্য প্রমাণ হিসেবে উপস্থাপিত করা হয়েছিল।
She has been implied in one after another false cases, like the acting chairperson of BNP, Mr. Tariq Rahman, the Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, Joint Secretary Ruhul Kabir Rizvi, and almost all the standing committee members and senior leaders are facing the similar kind of persecution. The present government shut down the electronic and print media owned by pro-opposition supporters such as Channel 1, Diganta TV, Islamic TV, and the daily Amar Desh. 65 cases against the editor of leading national daily Pratham Alo, Mr. Mutiur Rahman, and 79 cases in 53 districts against the editor of the leading English daily, the Daily Star, Mr. Mahfuz Anam, were filed by the ruling party leaders. The government had kept the acting editor of Amar Desh, Mahmud Rahman, detained in Kashimpur Central Jail 2 from April 11, 2013 till 23rd November 2016. Police also arrested the editor of the Daily Shangram, Abul Asad, the editor of Shishu News, Ikramul Haq, and ex-president of National Press Club journalist Shaukat Mahmood. In the early morning of 16th April 2016, members of the Detective Branch of Police, posing as journalists of Boisheki TV, entered the Scotland Garden home of senior journalist, writer, and TV presenter, editor of Monthly Mocheki Dhil, and ex-editor of renowned National Bangla Daily Jai Jai Din, Mr. Shafiq Rahman, and arrested him in a false case. He had to undergo 10 days police remand and around 5 months in custody. Violence and discrimination against religious and ethnic minorities continued throughout the period from January 2009 to June 2018. A number of incidents, including vandalizing Hindu temples, physical attacks on religious minority groups, and land grabbing took place during this period. Human Rights Monitoring Group, Aino Shalish Kendra, ASK, and Bangladesh Hindu Buddhist Christian Unity Council accused ruling party's MP Dubirul Islam of Thakurgaon, AKM Awal of Pirojpur, Parliament Whip Mahbubara Begum Guinea, the LGID and Cooperatives Minister Khondakar Musharraf Hussain from Faridpur, Primary and Mass Education Minister Mustafiz Rahman Fiza of grabbing Hindu land. On 29 September 2012, 12 Buddhist monasteries and temples and 40 houses belonging to members of the Buddhist community were vandalized and torched by criminals in the Ramu area of Cox's Bazar. On 30th October 2016, Sunday noon, around 200 religious bigots attacked at least 5 temples and vandalized and looted about 100 Hindu houses in several localities in Nasirnagar of Brahmanbaria district. At least 3 people of ethnic Chautal minority group were killed and 30 others injured in a clash that ensued on 6 November 2016 in Gaibanda, when the Chautal community protested the illegal appropriation of their lands by some sugar mill workers with the help of police. Violation of human rights in Bangladesh has become endemic since Sheikh Hasina-led Awami League came to power for the second time in 2009. Human rights, democracy, and the right to life is in peril in present Bangladesh. In these circumstances, under this illegitimate and autocratic regime, violation of human rights seems to have no end in the near future unless democracy is restored to a free, fair, participatory, and credible election. The people are waiting for democracy, their right to life, rule of law, human rights and justice.
The
Protesters from Hifazat-e-Islam called it the Siege of Dhaka. Volleys of gunfire echo across the city as police take on thousands of protesters in the early hours of the 6th of May. When it was over, police said they'd recovered 11 bodies, including one of their own. But Human Rights Watch says its independent sources suggest the number of people killed was at least 50. The answer over disputed figures may lie here. This is Dhaka's state-run cemetery where they bury unclaimed bodies. Abdul Jalil digs the graves. He's deaf and unable to speak, but determined to tell his story. He tells Al Jazeera he buried 14 bodies after the protest on May 6th, all at night. He points to his chin. They were all bearded men, he indicates, and they all had gunshot wounds. This previously unseen footage shows the chaos of gunfire and smoke on the 6th of May. Protesters clamber over walls to escape. On the steps of this building, those who could not get away. The injured lie among the dead. It's not always clear who's alive among the bodies. Protesters stream out to give themselves up. On the ground, there appear to be more bodies. Hundreds went into police custody like a surrendering army early that morning. Stragglers were rounded up, their ordeal clear on their faces. But Hifazat-e-Islam says many of the protesters are still unaccounted for. Bangladesh's foreign minister denies the government is hiding a higher toll.
The events of 6th and 7th happened in front of television cameras of at least 23 television channels, and everyone in Bangladesh now has a mobile phone with cameras. Also, there were footage that shows that there were people who were lying down as if they were dead bodies, and when the police nudged them, they got up and walked away.
Human Rights Watch is asking questions of the protest organisers Hifazat-e-Islam over the descent into violence and why so many young people were drawn into the protests. The rights group wants an independent inquiry to find out what happened once and for all. Miriam Nahond, Al Jazeera.